Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Off the Top Rope here on the Off the Mic Sports Network. So big topic in the wrestling world coming out of Monday Night Raw was Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship, and it was a very popular decision, at least for the people in the building. But if you go look at Twitter, there's a lot of people who are pissed off, and I'm here to calm y'all down because. Yeah, is it a surprise that Braun Breaker lost the Intercontinental Championship after only 51 days of holding it? Yeah, it was on his second title defense. But if you heard that reaction in Ontario, California on Monday night, that is an all-time moment that you very rarely get to see in modern wrestling, where the crowd is fully invested and unified in their support for one guy. The Yeet is so over. You could knock Jay's wrestling ability. Is he like, a world-class performer in terms of his in-ring ability? No. But he is entertaining and charismatic as hell. And that's why the people fucking love him. So I understand why WWE made this decision to go with Jey Uso and ultimately winning the Intercontinental title from Braun Breaker. That being said, I don't think the story's over. There's some speculation that Braun may go babyface out of this. I have no reason to believe that because it came from Dave Meltzer. But here's the thing. What I think is going to happen is this Intercontinental title, win and subsequent, push is going to feed into whatever happens with Jey and the Bloodline. Because if you remember, for the entire duration of this Bloodline angle, the entire duration of it, Jey has always been chasing Roman. And Roman always had that championship. And for the first time since the Bloodline became a thing 4 years ago, which ironically started with Jey and Roman. Roman came back as the tribal chief. His first big feud was with Jey Uso. And a lot of people were wondering, man, Jey Uso being in a tag team, he's going to go as a single star? Look at him now. He's the most popular guy, or arguably the most popular guy in WWE. He sells merch like crazy. He's got a word over on printing, just printing money for WWE. But Jey has that championship now, and Roman doesn't have anything. So at some point, there's going to be some sort of an interaction between, as they gradually start to build this thing up to new Bloodline versus OG Bloodline, because what I think is going to happen at Bad Blood is Roman's going to get overwhelmed and something's going to happen where Roman's probably going to end up taking the pin, hopefully from Jacob Fatu. A lot of people will be really pissed off if it's Solo, given the story that's being told and that Solo and Roman are being kind of booked as equals, which is still weird. I could see Solo getting the pin in this, and that would not be a popular decision. But like I said, to build to what they're building to in Vancouver with that Survivor Series match, which is presumably going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline, Roman's going to have to start building his old Bloodline back up. And obviously, I think the first two people that you will see instantly join back up with Roman Reigns is Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman. They will come back. They've already been cited in that incredible cinematic piece that they did on SmackDown last week. So those will be the first two to come back. Sami Zayn will obviously be resistant as well. So he's got to go through his whole thing with Gunther before we get there. But Jey Uso is going to really be the last cog, because he was the one who really effectively broke up that Bloodline as we know it with that iconic super kick from last year and that angle that they did where, and I'm out too, and he just boots him in the face, which was great. Whenever that interaction happens between Roman trying to recruit Jey back to the Bloodline, that's going to spawn off a chain of events, because Roman's obviously going to be, I'm not going to say jealous, but he's kind of envious of the fact that, hey, Jay's now in a more of a better position in terms of championships than he is. And Jey had always been chasing that for the longest time. So I think whenever these two interact, the new Bloodline's going to intervene and probably cost Jey the championship. Probably back to Braun Breaker. And I think that's where this is all leading to. It's going to be a relatively short reign, but it's all going to tie into the story. I promise you, you guys need to stop being hung up on wins and losses, really. Braun Breaker's going to be fine. The guy's 25, 26 years old. He's as good. He can consistently deliver. He's over as hell with the crowd. The dogs are barking. I am not worried at all that Braun Breaker lost this match. Yeah, there was a lot of concern about what happened after Money in the Bank, after he lost that match to Sami Zayn. But he went right back and won the title. And I think what this is going to do, Braun's going to be more of a killer, more ruthless, more aggressive off of all of this and off of this loss. And it's going to make him even more entertaining and more captivating to watch. But in terms of what this means for Jey Uso, it's first of all, nobody deserves it more than him. I said that on the post show after Raw on Monday night. Like he deserves this more than anybody. And while, you know, in theory, it probably was, you know, like at least on face value, you're like, man, you're taking the title off of a young guy after only 51 days. Sure. But when you've got a guy and you've got a potential to make a moment like that in front of that crowd, in that audience on Monday Night Raw, and do something very unexpected, not only does that create an iconic, like, you know, visual and an iconic moment and an iconic call from Joe Tessitore, it's going to make more people want to watch. They don't know what to expect. Everybody thought that Braun was going to win for sure. So it makes it unpredictable. You crown a deserving guy and an over guy finally with a championship after 14 years in this company without having a singles championship. And then the cherry on top of the cherry on top of the sundae is that this is all going to lead to something even bigger for Jey. Like, Jey doesn't need the bloodline right now. But the minute that he loses that championship because of the bloodline, because Roman's trying to recruit him, that's going to make this story even bigger. And when Jey goes back up and the whole old bloodline is reunited to face off against Solo's bloodline, that is going to be electrifying. And speaking of electrifying, there's still a certain Dwayne that's lurking in the periphery, potentially, of this whole storyline as well. So I wouldn't worry too much about this. Braun's going to be fine. He's a young guy. He didn't get buried. For God's sake, he took a nasty looking super kick. He took 3 spears, including one through the barricade and 2 Uso splashes in a 20-minute match. In an epic 20-minute match. And how could you be mad when that moment fucking happens where 10,000 people are going fucking apeshit like that for a title change like that, an unexpected title change, in just a very fantastic, beautiful moment in front of that crowd in Ontario, California. So I wouldn't worry about this too much. Everybody, I think, is up in their feelings about this. So that's the latest Off the Top Rope by Mike Mayer. Like, share, and subscribe here on the channel. OT Mike Sports and Off the Mic 28 on Twitter if you want to follow the show or me. And I will see you guys real soon.